Hello. Hello. Hi. Anyway, hope you're well. Hope you're swell. Hope you wavy. Where the hell did this thing go? I dropped this long one. Couldn't find it. Fell under my table. I have an unreasonable amount of toilet rolls just sitting around here. I think I have like 5 now. 6 if you include like this paper towel roll. I just don't throw them away. I just keep using them. Look. Here are 4. By the way, I make music and the link is in the description if you want to hear what I dropped this past Friday. I'd greatly appreciate anyone who checks that out. Let me know your favorite song. I appreciate you. I was thinking about I'm very, very grateful for this channel. I always think about that. This is a great channel, and I really enjoy engaging with everyone and sharing my thoughts and things, and it's nice. I'm very grateful for it, and I just pray that I can keep it. You know, when I got my strike and I was banned for 7 days, I was like, the thought started entering my mind of like, what if like the channel gets deleted for whatever reason? That'd be a shame. So I just pray that it's protected and that I get to do this for a long, long time. I'll be more careful going for it, just in terms of what I say, and yeah, I don't wanna lose this channel, man. I'm having a lot of fun. It's so important to enjoy what you do. I'm very grateful that I get to build this, and it's something that's actually very fruitful, but I'm also actually enjoying myself and enjoying engaging with the people watching this. It's great, man. It's very exciting. I really enjoy sharing my thoughts and hearing everyone's thoughts in the comments. I enjoy sharing my thoughts in the community tab. That's actually one of my favorite things to do, is just post in the community tab. Like I just get to, like, if I have some random thought that I really want to share, I can share it there. It's nice. And you get to listen to what people are saying. I actually want to stop saying I was listening to the past video, the last video I dropped, and I was like, I use the word a lot. It's a filler word, you know? That's our generation and filler words. Jeez Louise. So I want to stop saying that so much, huh? Try to be more conscious of it. Just speak fluently and without the use of all those filler words. Anyway. Yesterday I watched this movie, Boy Kills World. I thought about, in the past I've written little reviews that I post in my community tab for certain movies. I was like, I'm not writing a review for this movie. It was okay. It was very violent. Oh my gosh, it was violent. And elements of it were funny, I guess. But I don't know. It's so rare to watch a movie in this day and age and like walk away feeling like you actually watched something truly impressive, that genuinely impressive. A lot of movies coming out of man, oh man, guys, I used to live in the cinema. Like I used to go to the cinema all the time, but the movies have just gradually gotten worse and worse and worse to the point where you're just like, nah, I'm not wasting any money. I was like sitting in the cinema, like, damn, I think I wasted money. And you know, by the modern standards, Boy Kills World is not a terrible movie by modern standards, at least compared to a lot of the stuff that's coming out. But I was just like, man, I could have skipped this. I could have skipped this. And me watching Godzilla minus one and being blown away, it was so good. And in the backdrop, you consider the backdrop of all these terrible movies. You're like, wow, it stands out, man. It's like a diamond in the rough. Really phenomenal. Um, Boy Kills World, very violent. So that was something that, if you're into like very like violent action movies, like maybe this is worth checking out. One thing that pissed me off was I'm so tired of these movies. Um, no shade to the ladies, but it's exhausting, this whole thing of like these small women in these movies beating up these gigantic men who are trained and like, you know, very muscular. I understand it's fiction, but at the same time it's not believable. Like I don't believe it. Like for example, in this movie there was a scene where like the main character was having a sword fight with this woman. She's like half his size, man. He's clearly like much stronger than her, and you know he's trained harder. But then they get into this clash with swords, and you know when your swords are against each other, and you're having that strength contest, she actually pushed him away. I'm like, there's no there's no scenario where that's actually happening. It's not possible. I always think about like UFC and stuff, right? Like, what would happen if Ronda Rousey went up against John Jones? John Jones is a bit too big. Let's say Alex Volkanovski. Yeah, it's Volkanovski, right? I'm saying his surname right, I hope. Alex Volkanovski. What would happen if Ronda Rousey went up against a guy like him? She'd get murdered, dude. It wouldn't even be close. Like I can't, like in real life, there's no scenario where the stuff that goes down in the movies would be remotely possible. And look, I understand it's a movie, so like with James Bond and Mission Impossible and all these sorts of things, the things that happen in those movies obviously it's completely fictional. But there has to be some level of believability to it, right? In order to sell it to the audience. When you're just completely out of the realm of possibility, that's when it's like, okay, this is a superhero movie. It is essentially like a superhero movie. So I found that a bit frustrating. I'm so tired of seeing that in these movies where they just ignore reality. And it's indicative of what people think in the real world too. So a lot of people think that the biological differences between men and women don't exist, that there's no difference, which is, you know, how do you argue with people like that? You can't. By the way, I always get snacks from the supermarket, so I don't get snacks from the movie, like the concession stand at the movie. I always get snacks from the supermarket, and I just keep them in my bag just because the supermarket is better snacks. You get more for less as well. It's cheaper. So I got vanilla wafer rolls. I don't have any right now, just because I haven't had breakfast. I actually went out. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I went out and I had like hot chocolate just now. But that's all I had. I had a banana for breakfast, but that was it. Banana, hot chocolate. I don't want like to follow that up with wafer rolls. I want to have. My mom's making porridge right now, so I might have porridge, and then I might order something to eat. Oh my god, I bought shampoo. It was very expensive. I spent a lot of money on shampoo. I bought shampoo and Vaseline. I bought this tub of Vaseline, this big tub. Oh, there was actually a bigger tub. It was very expensive. I was like, I'll just get this one instead. But this is quite big, because I was running out. Because I had this one. This one's running out. And you know, winter is here. Winter has come. And your skin gets dry during winter. So, you know, always good to stay moisturized. So this one's almost finished. But this has lasted me a long time. And I inherited this from someone else. This wasn't mine. I don't know who I got this from. But yeah, I've been using this for a long time. So now I've got a new one. I always get cocoa. The cocoa Vaseline. Oh my god, it smells so good. And yeah, this is the one. This is the one everyone gets. It's just so good. The cocoa Vaseline. So I got cocoa Vaseline. Wait, how many mils is this? 250 ml. And 2 bottles of Heads and Shoulders. Is it Head and Shoulders? I think it's Head and Shoulders, not Heads and Shoulders. Head and Shoulders shampoo. I got the apple scented one. The apple. I forgot what it's called, but it's like apple scented shampoo. Got 2 bottles because they had a 2-for-1 special. No. They had a special where you get 2 for like a certain price, and that price was very close to the amount that it cost for one. So I was like, I'm not gonna just get one, because it was very expensive to get one. I was like, I might as well just get 2. So I don't think I'll need shampoo for like a year, probably more, to be honest. When was the last time I bought shampoo? Because I had 2 bottles of shampoo and they ran out. Like recently ran out, like today. Actually today they ran out. The second bottle ran out today. And I can't remember when I bought them. It's been a very long time, because I only wash my hair once a week. I only shampoo my hair once a week. You know, it lasts very long. So it's an investment. The Vaseline is going to last a very long time, and the shampoo is going to last a very long time, but it's very expensive. When you spend money, you're like, oh, when you see the money leave your account, you're going to cry a little. It's painful. Anyway, I was talking about Boy Kills World and the ridiculous thing of like these small women beating up these very large men who are trained, by the way. It's not like they're just Joe Schmoes off the street. So that would never happen in real life at all. So it's just, you want a little bit of believability. I wish they could incorporate elements of like showing us that, look, men are stronger biologically. So what would be the unique challenges that a female combatant would have to face when squaring off with men? But these writers are very lazy, so they never really explore that. What they show you is this very small woman throwing around these gigantic men who are twice their size, probably more. And it's just not possible. Like, you're basically giving a superpowers at that point, which is not consistent with the story. You know, because they'll be trying to tell these grounded narratives, well, somewhat grounded, but then like they're doing things that shouldn't be possible. It's not consistent with the world that they've built. Like, for example, there was a scene in Boy Kills World where the main character is like, he's down, and This very small woman, like he's about to get shot, so this very small woman picks him off the ground and throws him off over this bar counter. With she like jumps over this bar counter with him, like, but she throws him. You know, like when you want to save someone, you're like, get out of the way, and then they jump. She like hurled him over this bar counter. I'm like, she can't. That I guarantee you, she can't. Like that actress, I guarantee you, she cannot do that. I doubt she can do that with me. I'm like, how big am I? I'm like 60 something kgs. How many pounds is that? I don't know. America, they measure pounds. Here in SA, we use kilograms. I'm like 60 something kilograms, so maybe 64, 60. I can't remember. Last time I weighed myself, I was like, yeah, 63, 64. I'm not that heavy. I guarantee you, she could not do that with me. You'd need momentum and stuff, but like she like picked him up and threw. I'm like, that's cat. There's no scenario where that is happening, dude. And again, it's a movie. You're supposed to suspend disbelief, but to a certain extent, there are limits, people. There are boundaries. It's just it's annoying to see. But again, the thing that's concerning is that people genuinely think in the real world, people think that sort of stuff is possible. It's not. Guys, people don't understand the vast difference in strength between men and women. Recently in the States, because that's where a lot of this crazy foolishness happens, this male that identifies as female, he was running against these girls, and he absolutely destroyed them in this race. It was like a sprint. He beat them by 5 seconds. If you know anything about track running, 5 seconds is a lifetime, because they measure a lot of the time differences in finish times by like milliseconds. You know, if you're beating someone by more than a second, like that's a lot in track running, right? This guy beat these girls by 5 seconds. The gap was humongous, and amongst other boys, he would have finished in 61st or 62nd place or something like that. His time amongst the boys would have been like placed him at like 61st place. So he's not competing against boys. Like in a race against other boys, he would lose very badly. But against girls, he's finishing first place with more than 5 seconds to spare. It's unbelievable. He could have like done push-ups at the finish line or something. Like could have taken a nap. Bro, but in this modern age, people will swear up and down there's no biological difference between men and women. It's absurd. So they push for like men to compete against women in sports. It's very sad. And not enough women are fighting. A lot of girls are getting upset. We're seeing people protest, saying like these people shouldn't be allowed to compete against us. It's not fair. They've got biological advantages and stuff like that. But not enough are protesting, which is why a lot of this stuff is happening. If more women just stood up and said like, this is ridiculous. Why are we being forced to compete with these people? You can't just identify as a woman and then compete in women's sports and win all the awards and break all the records. But they're letting it happen. But it's only possible because of these narratives that there's no difference between men and women. And you see that exemplified in a lot of cinema these days. It's frustrating. So, like I said, man, I always think about UFC. Imagine there's no woman that can go against John Jones. John Jones is like the elite UFC fighter. Like he's considered the best. And he's a humongous man. He's also very technically skilled. He's vicious. I just can't imagine any woman lasting 5 seconds with him in the cage. He's deadly, man. Lost in any amount of time with any of these guys, with any of them. It's just not happening. I've talked about this before, but Serena Williams and Venus Williams, like this was early on in their career. They were very young, but which also means they're also. Oh my god! And by the way, before I continue, a lot of girls get offended when I say these things. You shouldn't be offended by what I'm saying. All I'm doing is pointing out biological differences. It's not to put anyone down. It's not to make anyone feel bad. It's just being honest about reality. So it shouldn't offend you. You know? It really shouldn't. I don't know why people get upset about that. When I say men and women are biologically different, like men are stronger, physically stronger than women and stuff like that. I don't know why people get upset about that. Like, it's just reality. But anyway, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, back in the day, they were in this tennis tournament. And they were talking about how they could beat the men if they played against men or whatnot. Then this guy so the women were having their tournament and the men were having their tournament. So this guy he'd been kicked out of the tournament. He lost his match or something. So he was like number 200 and something. It's a big tournament. He's ranked number 200 and something. And he said, I'll play y'all. I'll play y'all. And so they said, okay. So they played this guy. And guys, he beat them back to back. I think he played Serena first, and then he played Venus immediately afterwards, and he beat them both back to back. He didn't take a break, he just beat them. Like, think about that. These are the elite female tennis players. Because, people always talk about how Serena Williams beat this one guy back in the day. This male tennis player. I don't know who he is or what was going on with that guy, but so they always use that as an example to say, you see, women can beat men in sports and all these sorts of things. But then they leave out that very big moment when this guy who was ranked number 200 and something beat Venus and Serena back to back. He destroyed them. He's nowhere near the level of a Rafael Nadal or a Thomas Murray. No, Andy Murray, not Thomas Murray. Andy Murray or like Roger Federer or Djokovic. These guys, like that guy was nowhere near their level. So you can imagine how bad it would be if Serena Williams went up against one of those guys. Because at that point, it's a different sport. Like the strength with which they hit the ball, how fast they're running, the lung capacity, all this, it's just not fair. You're just at a disadvantage as a woman in terms of like your physical capabilities versus theirs. They have higher ceilings than you, so they can really push themselves to further extents than you are capable of as a woman. And that's not, again, it's not meant to put anyone down. It's just we're different. We're not the same. And that's a good thing, because it means we're good at our own individual things, and women are unique and men are unique, and we should just embrace that instead of constantly trying to be the same. It's not something to get angry about. A lot of women get very angry when you point that out. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Why? Why get mad at that, So yeah. I've talked about the US women's national soccer team, how they've been thrashed by teenage boys. They got destroyed by a teenage male soccer team. They, oh my god, it was bad. And then they got destroyed by a club male soccer team, like double digits. Like the men scored in the double digits, and the women barely. I don't. They barely scored at all. And then some argue that the men like let them have those goals. But anyway, and that men's club team, by the way, was comprised of retirees, some professionals, and men that were free that weekend to play. Like they're not even professionals. They didn't have anything else to do. And that's the team that beat the women's national soccer team. These are supposed to be the best of the best of the best in terms of what America has to offer in women's soccer. And they lost to some random club team that was comprised of not random, but a mix of people who, some weren't even professionals. Some were retired. One of the guys was like 40 something. Literally, guy, like, dude, it's embarrassing. So it's like when they keep telling us that, there's no difference between men and women physically in terms of strength and speed and all this. It's like, bro, like, y'all live in a different planet. Seriously. If I'm walking in a neighborhood and it's just a bunch of women, I don't feel scared. If I'm walking in a neighborhood, it's a bunch of men, I'm like, yeah. Well, it depends which neighborhood I'm in, but if I'm in a dodgy neighborhood but it's full of women, I'm not stressing, right? But it's a bunch of niggas. I'm like, oh God, please help me. So there's clearly a difference, guys. Like, you know this. It's instinctive. You don't need to conduct studies and all these sorts of things. Oh man, what a time we live in. Everything that used to be common sense needs to be backed up with extensive research these days. Are men really different from women physically, biologically, all these sorts of things? Do men really have biological advantage in sports? And medical studies and all these sorts of things. It's supposed to be obvious. But yeah, these days anything is up for debate. Even like the biological reality of race, the idea that there are black people, white people, Asian, whatever the case may be, even that now people are just like, no, race is a social construct. God, no, race is not a social construct. Like, it's in your genes, bro. You can do DNA tests and people can predict with extreme accuracy. Not predict. They can determine with extreme accuracy your ancestral heritage, which part of the world you're from, how what percentage of you is for example, I think I have a very small percentage of Portuguese blood because my grandmother, my great grandmother on my mother's side was Mozambican, and Mozambique has a history of Portuguese colonizers. So somewhere down the line, that intermingled with my family bloodline. So my great grandmother was mixed race. She was this light skinned woman with straight hair. So part of me has that, and you can do DNA test and you can find some small percentage of Portuguese blood. Race is not a social construct. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, you can't reason with these people because they're just so like, it's so obvious that this is biology, it's genetics, it's real. It's your skin pigmentation. It's real. This is not a social construct, fam. When we talk about race, we're talking about your genetic makeup, we're talking about your skin color, we're talking about that sort of stuff. But these days everything gets conflated and mixed up and they redefine words and they complicate everything, right? But everyone knows what we mean when we mean race. When we say race, everyone understands what we're talking about. Your skin color, basically. But that implies a whole bunch of other things as well, which can be determined by your genes. It's not a social construct. This is biological reality. So yeah, don't beef with reality. Don't beef with biology, please, guys. Don't do that. Just acknowledge the truth. Some things are just not complicated. Some things are very, very, very simple. And you don't need a degree to understand it. You don't need to go to university to know that men are men and women are women. And black, whites, Asian, Hispanic, whatever the case may be, those are different things. And those are biological distinctions. It's not social distinctions. Like, these are things that normal people understand. You don't need a degree. You don't need. That's why, you know, I think people that go to university and study a lot of this stuff, they get dumber, not smarter. Like, university in a lot of ways makes people more dumb. Because if you go to university, when you enter university and you know the difference between a man and woman, and the difference between different races, race groups, and you know that this is biology, and then you leave not knowing that, it means you left worse than you were when you came in. You're less bright coming out than you were going in. So you're literally paying them money to get more dumb, which is unfortunate. I don't think people should be doing that, though. You should invest your money in better things. And also, AI is taking a lot of jobs, so it's making a lot of things absolute obsolete. So maybe don't go to university if that's what you're getting out of it. Anyway, let me pray and get out of here. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. Be interesting to hear what people think, but yeah, I'd like to pray at the end of my video. So dear God, thank you for this individual watching us right now. Thank you for making them whole, unique, and guiding them on a path towards peace, prosperity, and purpose. Thank you for blessing this person, one of the people in their life who love them, take care of them, bring the absolute best out of them. Thank you for blessing this person with the spirit I thank you for maintaining the ones that are there to do the same thing. Thank you for blessing this person with the spirit of gratitude so they can give thanks for all the wonderful things in life, and by giving thanks they can find peace, contentment, and attract even more blessings. Let your presence be felt in this person, less of the knowledge that you're called, that you know that you love them, you're always going to be there for them. Good health, long life, and happiness over this individual, everyone that care about you. My name is Jesus, I'm praying Jesus, I'm praying, amen, 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 amen.